Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Vasiliy Lomachenko eventually chops down George Kambosos in 11 rounds. Excellent performance by the 36-year-old Lomachenko. Kambosos, as game as he always is, I suppose you'd say. This was one-sided, really, to be honest with you. The ending came, like I say, towards the end of the 11th round, and it was courtesy of Kambosos. He just looked, like he was not running on empty, but he's just out of ideas. And he missed with the right hand. Lomachenko came through with his southpaw, so it's a backhand left, landed on the jaw, put Kambosos on the floor. I don't know if that was even called a knockdown, but he got up. And then there was a horrendous body punch, perfectly placed, kind of like when Lomachenko knocked out Jorge Linares. Down goes Kambosos, clearly hurt, and you've got to really land it. I mean, it was a solar plexus punch and Kambosos actually moved back, took three steps back, and then took a knee by the ropes. And then he got up because he's George Kambosos. He's a warrior. He's got that Spartan mentality. But unfortunately for him and all the Australian fans, Lomachenko was on top of him, and it was all. I mean, it's another body punch. Straight away, Loma went back to the body. George just couldn't take it and fell to the floor. And I think it was his father threw the towel in just as the referee stopped it. But prior to that, I mean, that was the 11th round. This is the first victory Lomachenko's had since 2020. First KO victory since 2021, and he looked pretty much as good as ever. I know Kambosos, a lot of people, myself included, thought Kambosos' style was made for Lomachenko. But let's not take anything away from the Ukrainian. At 36, he's got plenty left. I mean, plenty left. And to bust up, such a game warrior as George Kambosos and eventually stop him, Devin Haney, I know he's not a big puncher, but he could do that in 24 rounds. And Haney's a very good fighter, but he's not a puncher. But Loma never really goes for a one-punch knockout. It's all so precise. And from the word go, even when George was fresh, you could see Lomachenko immediately controlling the range. And one of the commentators said it's almost like he's got George on a string and he's leading him around the ring, because every time George stepped forward, Lomachenko moves back. It's this sort of movement, it's a perfect control of the range. And when he decides to move in, Lomachenko, bang, 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 it's suddenly you hit from all angles. It's the old joke about, I'll hit you so many times you'll think you're surrounded. This is what happened to George. It's unfortunate because George was, he's just trying his heart out, but Lomachenko, he'll sort of faint you out of your own skin. He's there's so many feints going on. You're thinking, well, where's the next punch coming from? And it's easy to say, well, the opponent should go forward and just throw caution to the wind, but you probably get knocked out. And you get knocked out to the body or head, because Lomachenko, he never forgets the body. I'm always sitting there thinking, whenever I watch him, go to the body more. You're so good. But who am I to second guess Vasiliy Lomachenko when he does go to the body, especially with the backhand left? He's a demon. He's a real demon. And the rounds. Did I give George a round? Maybe one of the early ones. He could have, maybe a share of one. I don't know. But he was trying his heart out. He just couldn't get the job done. It was a shame, really, because I do like Kambosos. And now people are going to say, well, the Teofimo Lopez victory was sort of a flash in the pan. And to which my reply is, so what? He did the business against Lopez, and what did he do? He didn't run. He immediately wanted Lomachenko, but Lomachenko went back to Ukraine because of the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. That was postponed. Then he fought Devin Haney, or they both fought Devin Haney. They both lost to Devin Haney. Lomachenko, a lot of people think he won against Haney. Kambosos definitely didn't in 2 attempts. But there's no doubt about it. I mean, it shows you how boxing can change, because suddenly Lomachenko's got a belt. This was for the vacant IBF title. And of course, Haney, having fought Garcia under all sorts of, very sort of dark circumstances, is now, even though he's still kept his belt, he's on the outside looking in, really, in some respects, because of the beating he took. And I think the WBC have ordered him to make a mandatory defence. He must be thinking, sod the belt, I need a rest. But anyway, I mean, I'm digressing. Let's get back to this fight. George, very gracious, very magnanimous in defeat. Lomachenko is just a wonderful fighter. I love watching him. It's just the precision of the guy. He almost places his punches. Like it's almost like he's got this laser vision where he thinks, I'm going to put it on that spot there, and then he puts it before you realise what's happening. And that's it. He keeps the opponents guessing. They just don't know. He wins fights with the feet as much as the fists. I mean, you could say that all boxing matches are won as much with the feet as the fists, because it's what you do with your feet. You know, unless it's a slugfest, you just plant yourself there and sling random punches. But Lomachenko never does that. You can see all those years as a teenager or a kid or whatever he was, doing all that, you know, Ukrainian folk dancing, which his father insisted he did to get his balance right. And wonderful fighter, Lomachenko, fantastic fighter. And as far as Kambosos is concerned, you just got to sometimes say, hey, the better man won. The better man won. You know, he's just better than me. But then there's no shame in that, because he's better than just about everyone else. And to make matters worse, I think it's about the 8th round, Kambosos had a bad slice on the right eyelid, and that was leaking as well. I think the blood was going into his eye. It was, you know, it was death by 1,000 cuts, really, for Kambosos. And the Warrior just couldn't. I mean, it's a shame when I see someone who's got that much guts getting sort of toyed with, basically. Again, you just have to say, hey, the guy's better than me. You know, he just on the day he was better. I accept it. I move on. I go on to the next fight, if there is a next fight. George must have made some serious money. I don't know whether he'll fight on, but he's entertaining to watch. And Lomachenko, who will he be looking for? Well, he's still got that dream of being the undisputed champ, which he feels was taken from him when he didn't get the decision against Haney. So I think he'll be looking for other belts, other fighters who've got belts. Yeah, and he's got something left. He's got something left. Tank Davis, I think, was talking about coming in and fighting him. I don't know. Yeah, well, you know, Tank Davis is a strange one, because his career is sort of stop-start as far as I can see. But he is a good fighter. So yeah, I'd definitely love to see that. Don't know whether it'll happen, but I'd love to see it. Anyway, what did you think of this fight? Do you think Lomachenko's truly back? Do you think you think that the style of Kambosos was suited for Lomachenko? I think that's probably true to an extent. But do you think that detracts from Lomachenko's win? What's your opinion? Give me your opinion below. Leave it in the comments. I'll have a read and I'll answer. And thank you very much, as always, for your time. Really appreciate it. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you don't mind. It takes a little second to pop that subscription button, and also the like button as well, if you're feeling generous. All right. Thank you very much. I will speak to you all later. Much love. Bye for now.